Hello, today I'm going to be playing with the die called Stitched U, and it mainly showcased this die cut area where it had a U that had some stitching on it, but it also came with other words such as thank, to, happy birthday, from, there's all sorts of words. So I wanted to make a thank you card specifically that showcased this die because I thought it was very universal and kind of fun. So first I want to die cut out this thank and my letters. I already stitched the U just to prepare for the video, so it would not take too long to stitch, but just to save you from watching me stitch, I do have a playlist of stitch cards on my channel, so if you're interested on or about any of the stitching, just head on over to that playlist and you should be able to find how I stitch. Now to die cut out the thank and the U, I'm going to use my Sidekick, which is just a small little die cutting machine that props up on my desk. It's just a really quick and easy way to die cut, especially since I'm not die cutting too much, just a few different things here. I will grab some white scrap to die cut out the letters for thank. And this one will do. I actually think that this is the piece I used for the Y. That's funny. All right. And it really doesn't matter how these go on here, since I know I have all the letters. As long as they're somewhere on the white paper, it will cut out the letters that I need. That little light cracking is okay. It's just cutting. I like that these letters are quite delicate and thin because it kind of contrasts with the big, bold U sentiment. And anytime there's contrasting on an art piece, I think that is pretty neat. So I will just put this piece of pink cardstock onto my card base. This is an old scrap that I've had, and I don't think that it's quite the proper size, so I'm just going to take a little sliver off the edge here. Not too much. Voila. Then I will put on my thank letters onto my letters, T-H-A-N-K. I realized I made a video with the stitched alphabet and I used the name Alexa because that was the card that was ordered from my store, but I forgot that people have the Alexa, I don't even know what to call it, but that's like that thing that you say, you know, what's the weather or whatever, and hopefully that wasn't bothering anyone's robots. I don't have one at our house, so it didn't even dawn on me until after. Now the thank is finished. I will just double check to make sure that that's the way the card opens. I would hate to make the card upside down, but I suppose if you did put it upside down, like I said before in crafting, you could either just go with it or scrap it. Now, I have left cards like that in the past if I knew the recipient. Actually, I want to glue down first the U. Okay, but if I knew that they might kind of get a little chuckle or something out of it, I left it. Certainly not anything that I would sell on my store, but if you do end up with, a work that you've been working on for a long time and you finish it and it's now upside down, you could also just chop off the front with your paper cutter and just glue that whole front onto a new card base. And I've done that more times than I'd like to really say. Alright, I'm really getting ahead of myself. I think I will put the Y down, not first, but I'm going to put the O down first since that's the middle. This is kind of a simple thank you card. It doesn't have, too much flowers or layers of cardstock. It's just a simple stitched U and a die cut thanks or thank. So it's nothing too dramatic, but it is definitely special since it is a stitched card. There we go. Come on, Y. This is definitely fancier than the Y that is in the stitched alphabet. So if you have someone who has a name that starts with Y, you could switch out the Y from the stitched alphabet and use this Y if you have both sets, and use kind of the fancy Y when writing their name. And if you're not familiar with the stitched alphabet, I would absolutely recommend it to anyone who enjoys stitching cards, just because you can spell anything you want and you can have a stitched card that is totally personalized, and that is just so special to have a card that's personalized, or really anything that is personalized just has a little extra love in it. Alright, the glue isn't dry on here, but it's getting tacky, so I wanted to just give it a little refresher. That looks like it's about in the middle to me, so I will just kind of eyeball it and call that good. Alright. Now, of course, I want to add a little bit of some jewels and maybe some pearls, because that is my style, and I think that putting the pearls on the center of the stitch cards is just like frosting on a cake. It's just, you gotta do it. You gotta put something there. It's just pretty. You don't really have to, but I think it just adds the finishing touch on the stitch dies. If it has a little embellishment of some kind, whether that be a sequin or a pearl or a foam circle embellishment, a gem, anything that adds a little flair is kind of fun. Now I try to keep these so that they're right side up, so when I go to pick them up with my jewel picker, it's just a very quick little time there. I could leave it as that, or I could add some bigger stones kind of scattered around, which I probably will do. Yes, I will. It's a good excuse to use up some of the thicker pearls, because I don't always reach for the big pearls when I am card making, just because I don't want things too bulky all the time. But for something like this, I think it's kind of fun to add a little bit of extra bling because there is quite a lot of background space. Another option you could do is take an embossing folder and emboss the background. So it would be this pink paper before adding it onto the card. Then that would give you a textured background without having to add a whole bunch of pearls or gems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, well, I don't like even numbers, so we'll add another one. Perfect. I will glue those on and show you my finished card. All right, now that I am finished adhering all of the pearls on, I will show you my finished card here. I love the way it turned out, and I would definitely remake this card with different colors and probably have this as one of my go-to fancier thank you cards. Thank you so much for watching, and like I said before, I will have products linked in the description of this video. If you do have any questions at all about die cutting, stitching, card making, measuring, gluing, whatever it might be, please just ask in the comments section and I will definitely try to respond soon. So thank you so much again for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!